No,
I DM'd
not
both
out of
these
the woods
guys
yet.
in the morning and asked, send me some stories, let me know what happens. And Joey said he went to bed at about midnight, but the rest of his roommates came in at 4 a.m., 4:30. So
Yeah.
we'll see if fatigue is a factor on either player. You see, Joey's got the classic put headphones in, even though it's a violation of NASPA rules.
Yeah. But I think Joey's probably above the rules at this point. He can kind of make up his own ones. But we'll see if the headphones help him win the game, or if he just gets Jackson. So yeah, I will give a full disclaimer. I have not played a TWL game in, I think, 2 years. So I apologize in advance. Please rely on Matt for word knowledge, but I will try to contribute as much as I can word knowledge or strategy-wise. So what do you think here to start? Lots of L's.
Jackson basically got to play aid or maybe idea, but he's just got to play off three vowels and a consonant here. He's hold on to the S. Oh, he's going to throw back 3 instead.
Yeah, I think playing here is the right strategy.
I'm sure they would be pretty close in a sim.
Yeah.
But maybe part of what Jackson wants to do is keep the board closed against Joey, not give him those 4 floaters. I think Joey tends to struggle a little bit more on closed boards than on open ones. Joey's got some great word knowledge, and open boards lead to him getting a lot of bingos down. So maybe that's what was behind Jackson's decision there.
Yeah, well,
so Joey's going to throw down QI.
And now he's got a funky little board to start. I guess that's what he wanted, and he did not manage to draw a bingo anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could consider going for points here, but I suspect he's just gonna try to, I guess, especially what Jackson would call forking the board in a lot of situations, but play something pretty short, and also trying to open multiple bingo lanes for next turn. And yeah, shout out to Deeb here. Like to see a good Deeb sighting, but
yeah, Jackson might play something small through the eye to try and fork, like you said. He could also maybe play cabs, CABS and QIS, and that's going to just like butcher the board right away. So if he really does want to keep things closed against Joey, that's a thing he could consider doing as well.
Yeah, I think it's.
But it looks like he just wants to play dib through the eye, keep a really powerful lead, and see if he can pull into a bingo next turn.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna play 2 tiles, it seems like possibly the best ones to play. But ACST is, I think, actually not not quite as ridiculously strong as it looks. Plus, an eye can get pretty ugly in a hurry. Muffin points out that Quook would be available before Dib, which I did notice as a Colin, but there's no Quooking. I think it's the past tense of Quake, because that's normal. Not too much here for Joey. He's probably gonna trade really fast. Oh, he's Canadian. Did you know that? Did you know Joey's Canadian?
He's keeping the classic A, and Jackson does have a bingo. He's got coasted, so he's probably going to put that down pretty quick with dibs. Perhaps not.
So it's probably worth the audience knowing, in fact, while Jackson looks really hard for his bingo here, that I myself am in New Orleans right now, and Matt Canick, my co-commentator, I think, was here a few days ago. Now, the question that I think most people would want to know as Jackson starts to put down coasted is, which one of us consumes more drinks? Please put your answer in the comments, and we'll see who's closest. So coasted will probably come down here. Looks like Jackson gets dibs on that bingo line, and it looks like Joey's tiles have not really improved at all.
I'd imagine we see held come down next to coasted, making A and DE, just to undouble the L's and keep some stuff.
Well, maybe at the F, I don't know. FELL. Fell.
Perhaps. A lot of pretty similar options. Yeah, he's going to play the L instead. He's going to set up back hooks. I don't remember what the back hooks on L are.
There's at least 1. There's at least 2, and I think there's 3. But I should probably set my dictionary to owl to make sure. Okay, there's still 3.
We've got the ASY goes behind fell, so Joey's creating some offensive spots, and of course Jackson has two A's to go there. So
Yeah.
I don't see anything off the top of my head that's going to play VA underneath and extend all the way to the double word.
Yeah.
Savant
I
doesn't
think
do it.
no owls are gonna make it at this point, but there are some shorter plays he can make here to go for a big next turn and really like not to be lame, but to really try to coast to victory. But he can use that V to his advantage here, really.
You can see some fatigue maybe on Jackson's face here. I don't think his head has left his hands for more than a couple seconds this game.
Yeah, and I can say one of his roommates, Mike, playing in the Collins division, I took one look at him this morning, and he looked half dead. So if he was one of the people who stayed out till 4, which he was, that should give you some indication of where Jackson's head is right now. But Joey has the benefit of the headphones keeping him alive, so... but Matt, what do you think about like some small like VAD, just to really just destroy the board? And some of the time you're just going to bingo next turn and just be in great shape. Oh, well, sure enough, it looks like that's what's coming down.
I mean, personally, I would have played Vat underneath, making Fella just to kind of deal with that spot a little bit.
Mm.
You know, I'm holding the S to hit the EFS spot if I'm going to draw the bingo.
Yeah.
But you know, to each their own. Joey, in classic Joey fashion, is going to immediately make a play. 7 points for Horn there, and just kind of unclutter some of that rack and go for the bingo. It looks like the chat agrees they like Vat and Fella a little bit, so perhaps that means Jackson is unsure of the hook.
Yeah, quite possibly.
This turn might give it away.
He may have intuited that Joey had both H's on his rack as well. And he didn't want to give him the back H hook.
I think this is going to be really indicative of whether Jackson knows it's Fella or not. Yeah, he can play Waynes or Waste or something.
Otherwise, you might see an aggressive, like, Walnut or something.
Walnut would be a good play otherwise. Walnut might even be a good play despite it, but just given the way Jackson has played this game, and after Joey insta-plays HRN for 7, you can assume he's probably holding on 3 consonants and a blank, and those consonants are probably decent, or else Joey would have exchanged. So Walnut's not a play you want to make given the info you got from insta-play Horn.
It's pretty, it would be pretty risky. I guess the other thing worth considering is that, you know, at least half, maybe around half the time, Joey's still going to have a crap rack. So I suppose you could, not crap, but vowel light rack. So if Jackson felt like he wanted to play the odds, a lot of the time Joey won't have the thing. But Jackson's the one in the driver's seat here, so there's really no reason to take the risk.
You say Jackson's in the driver's seat, but all of the options we've considered are going to give massive plays back to Joey. If he plays Waynes or Weights or Waste, Joey has Oxhides and Oxherds. Oxhides is going to play for about 1,000 points after either of those.
Do we think Joey will find Oxhides? I think there's a different 3-letter word he sees on that rack. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. If he's not hungover, then it's probably quite findable here.
Joey's pretty good on his bingos. I'd be shocked if he doesn't find at least one of them, if not both of them. How likely is Joey to have an S after his previous play? In my head, just totally off gut and nothing else, I would say about 70%.
Yeah, I'd
75.
Say it's fairly likely that he is either S or blank if he plays that fast. I would
intuit both from that play most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, you could say, you could have either or. I mean, I think the blank is probably more likely. I could see, like, I don't know, he could keep, like, NRST or something and play really fast. There are certainly racks where I would see Joey just do something really fast. Ooh, that's interesting.
All right, so Jackson's going to plunk a U. I didn't even think about that spot. I'm sure he was sitting there doing the math, trying to figure out how often AINSTW is going to hit a bingo.
Just
Let's see what he got. That is not
much,
one of
is
the
it?
draws he needed.
There's
No,
not.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
We'll see if this is Ox. Yeah, Ox Herds is coming down, the higher scoring option for Joey. Kate pointing out that actually Qua was second on the sim. Quackle only liked Aqua more there, so not taking any of the hot spots and just keeping the board kind of tight and keeping it a solid lead. Did not think about any of those.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice little drop there for the U. But I think Joey's playing a better strategy here than Jackson, which is to just draw bingos out of the bag.
Well, yeah, Joey has drawn key hours out of the bag. Not going to have a spot for it, so it'll be interesting to see if he ends up getting one. I mean, Jackson could just drop a W down underneath the Ox Herds right now. Not seeing any better parallel play underneath.
Yeah, it's a lot of points. He just, I think, wants to keep pace for now, while the board's kind of still fairly close. It's fairly likely the bottom left will get open, so maybe Jackson will be able to pounce back there.
So there goes AW for Jackson, a high-scoring play, put him back in the lead. You'd rather not hold the double eyes there, but I think that's a play you've just got to make, and Joey is not going to get a spot for key hours. So we'll see how he chooses to respond to this one. Could see maybe like Vega or something of the likes coming from the V.
Yeah, I mean, keeping a couple like decent tile floaters out that don't double his rack right now.
He wants to keep it a little tighter. He could play Ruga on top of Ox Herds.
I do like that.
Go ahead. He got Cougar from the C as well. So if he wants to get really aggressive, he could play Cougar. That'd be a fun play for Joey.
Yeah. Be very, very apropos. Excuse me. I do like that we have Jackson SMYLIE playing and SMYLIE Jackson in the commentary. It's good that it seems like I haven't seen Joey play too many games. I know he's taken a bit of a break, but he rushed a couple plays. But it's good that he's seems like he's able to kind of take his time a bit more, and not just necessarily smack down, what we say, Vega or whatever immediately. Even though it looks like equity-wise would be a really solid play.
I mean, this is a tough turn, and it is good to see him taking his time. I know old Joey KRAFCHICK plays a lot of his games in 5 or 6 minutes, and that's got its benefits too. You put your opponent under time pressure, put some mental strain on him. But turns like this are really important. Do you want to play Cougar and go long and throw the board open? Do you want to play Vega or Vagai? The chat points out that if he plays Vagai, then Jackson's actually going to have finitist back. Or do you want to keep it smaller? Play something like Ruga on top of Ox Herds, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Like an important turn.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely an argument to be made for either one. I think that I personally kind of like the idea of keeping it fairly close, but also recognizing that a lot of the time Jackson's going to come back with a bottom left play. Given that this TW all not having, if Ruga was played, there are still a lot of hooks that go underneath there, but not as many.
He is going to go with Ruga here. I think that's a fine play if you want to keep things a little bit more closed. iOS is not a superb lead, but maybe Joey's also considering the fact that Jackson's just plunked 1 and then 2 tiles, so you have to assume Jackson's fairly bingo prone.
Yeah, of course. We know that in fact he's not particularly, but it would be certainly a reasonable read to make here.
From Joey's perspective, though, Jackson's probably got hot stuff on his rack.
Yeah.
Can't really see Jackson doing anything but fax and fit, or perhaps
Yeah.
sniffed if he wants to grab some points.
Is Sniffed TWL? Huh. I thought for sure that Sniffed was Collins.
Might be.
I think it's Collins.
Okay, chat pointed out sniffed. Sniffed is not TWL, so he won't be doing that. That makes his turn.
Yeah, I believe Sniffed is a Colin. I didn't want to be that guy who kept saying like, "Oh, it's a Colin, it's a Colin, it's a Colin."
Oh, so Jackson's taking a shot.
Yeah, you lift, bro.
He's playing lift for significantly fewer points than with fax. He's obviously telegraphing his S, but it's one of those situations where the setup is so good you don't care that you telegraph the S. Now Joey's probably going to come down with meows and lifts.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna counter and say that without keeping an E there, that's actually not necessarily a strong enough leave to go ahead and make that big opening, because he doesn't really have a good backup play, a good backup lane. So I would actually say you'd really want to take fit and fax here.
It is important to point out from Jackson's perspective, there's only one unseen S. So, the fact that Joey having one is not really that probable. And yet Joey does have one. So we might see a look of a demoralization on Jackson's face when that does come down. He thinks he's being clever and crafty, but he's playing against crafty J.
Yeah.
So,
although this does work out best for him, because, he in fact ends up drawing out the S when Mew, Moo, Ego, and Wax would be kind of it would hurt.
Yes.
But I think if you're gonna, I mean, there's the other thing with lift is like you can play from the V. It's to, as Craig I think is insinuating here. It's just not strong enough. You really need to ensure that you're bingoing if you're going to sacrifice that much next turn.
So Joey's going to forego the S hook despite the obvious setup, and that's going to give Jackson stenting back. So Jackson's gambit is going to pay off. It looked like it would backfire. I mean, Mew is a really, really, really strong play, but I think Joey here needs to consider that Jackson doesn't make that play without an S.
Or you can play what?
I don't think that is a word. And when he had stinting available, Joey is not holding. It looks like Jackson's going straight into the bag.
Okay. Well, that's not even Collins. What is happening?
It being Collins, I don't think has too much an impact on Joey, but I guess Jackson's just taking a shot. He thought it might be a word. Jackson does this all the time. He thinks something might be a word, so he just plays it. And it is really difficult to challenge a player who's rated 2050 or whatever Jackson is rated.
Yeah. And I wonder, maybe you might be able to speak to this, like these two being, I think, pretty good friends. Like there might be an element of like friend gamesmanship here as well, where Jackson, he kind of wants to go for that. Really wants to win, but just wants to go for that extra risk. I could be totally wrong, but I kind of see that.
Chat is asking, why would he risk that when he has a perfectly safe stinting? I think the reason is because it worked.
Yeah, or because he thought it was.
And I think maybe that's part of the also that, but that's part of the psychology here too. Is like, well, I've got another play available, and I'm playing this one, so I know this is good. I don't know what kind of metagames are going on here between the friend dynamic and maybe Jackson's just confused. But
yeah, I mean Jackson is all about metagames. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's no UG. Yeah.
I'm wondering if anybody there knows if Jackson is on hold right now. I think his draw was too quick to be a provisional draw, but
yeah,
Joey looks like he's thinking very hard and not really about finding plays or anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If Kate happens to be over there, she might be able to clue us in. But looks like he's playing.
Training is going to stay.
And he's gonna
start building a wall for himself, despite being down.
Yeah, so basically, if you are not sure if you might want to challenge a word, you just say hold before your opponent draws tiles. If you hold for a long time, your opponent gets to draw their tiles, but can just to see them, but can remain on hold until the play is accepted or a new play is made.
So both players have hot garbage here now.
Yeah.
That advantage Jackson when both players have garbage because there's really only one available line left on the board. There's nothing Jackson can do about it with the rack that he has. But once that line goes away, I think Joey's going to be hard pressed to reopen the board. And Jackson might just be able to coast to a victory. If Jackson really wanted to, he could just drop DRY right now to do away with that. And he basically only loses 2 8s going through the R, making QIS as well. But dry scores so little and doesn't hold very well at all. So I don't think Jackson would do that. There's a risk he gets outrun if he makes a play like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Y is pretty good here. He can drop it Waxy and Yaw. He did just have his horny play was blocked, of course, but he can kind of just hang around for a sec here. That also has the small benefit of blocking the S hook. Not that it's usually going to come into play, but it certainly doesn't hurt.
He's going to drop the Y now instead. I guess he's taking a turn to see if Joey's got that bingo. I'm sure Jackson wants to make that line underneath Jibs go away, but I guess Joey wants to make it go away even more.
Yeah, although in fairness, at this point, I think that is probably that's too much to give up right now. Joey does recognize
clearing play.
Yeah, I mean, he does have the case S at this point, so and the score is still pretty close. So he's probably just thinking longer term about how can he set up an S hook later on.
And Joey's not dead. He could, especially from his perspective, he could just keep scoring and maybe get back in it. Now Jackson's going to plug that J there and get a lot more points than Joey anticipated on this board.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a good play from Joey's part.
Yeah.
Not dead yet, but Jet is about one of the worst things that could have happened to him after that.
Yeah. So no N here for Joey, unfortunately, but this is one where you probably might want to take your time. I know he has Cook lined up. You can also play on the left side, spending that S, but
26.
Looks like Joey's thinking about playing really fast here. I would slow down here for a sec, but
Cook is going to make the next O pretty important on this board, so you can front hook that K parallel over the top with OK, and Jackson doesn't have one. It looks like we've got, 3 unseen?
1, 2, board is turning 3, 4.
Joey draws
4,
it too,
4
so Joey's going to have move or something of the type. Cove, Cause, COZ is a big one too. If both of the Ys are out, he could play that. So Joey's going to be able to claw back in this just by O and keeping things tight.
But I'm sure that even though we know that Joey hadn't kept an O, Jackson's probably on red alert that that's just become a very important spot. I wouldn't be surprised to see him block the K, come down with Bilk or something, keep a good leave to more neutralize that spot a lot more. Because there's just not much else to do on this board right now. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Why not neutralize the threat? Because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that play. So, not to be mean, but I think something like Bilk makes a lot more sense here.
That still deals with the K spot pretty well.
Yeah, but do you want to leave of NPRIL or ENPR for the same amount of points?
Right.
Well, or you can.
If you're going to draw AE into INPRL.
Yeah, sorry, I take back everything I said. I don't know.
Really, Jackson knows something you don't, and he is on another level right now.
Well, his TWL rating is infinitely higher than mine, I think. So, what do I know? What do I know? Do I know anything, Matt? Can you tell me?
You do not.
Okay. Well,
as you said, you have not played a TWL game in 2 years.
It was July.
In TWL, July you get 20. To draw AE into IL and PR.
Got it.
Joey still has Zune here to put him, I believe that'll put it almost a tie game. It doesn't leave the best leave, and Jackson does have the A to kind of come back on top of that. Yeah, it would give Jackson Park back, actually, for about a gazillion points.
Yeah. I think for the Collins people looking, boar in fact does have hooks in other lexicon. So if this had been, would be even better for Jackson here. But it's not. So, what to do with the? I mean, he still got that Sego spot. So at any point, really, he can get some points there.
He could cash it right now. COZES, Sego Emu is a lot of points, but I don't know that he's going to.
Yeah, you could also hold off a turn, try to get an A or something, and set up your Z over there. But I don't know, Zek for 32, pretty safe.
24.
Yeah,
So he's going to go with an S setup here. He's going to
Yeah.
play Mock, setting up Smock.
Yeah, I noticed that as a possibility, but I just don't really love keeping the V here, but I get it. I mean, I understand what he's going for here.
Jackson could come back with something like Palmer, Palmer, through the M. That'd be a lot of points.
Yeah, P in that spot's pretty good. He's also got Bicep and Ion.
Bicep is nice.
I mean, obviously Joey has indicated he has the S. You probably want to block it. He also just played off MOC, so odds that he has a bingo next turn, not huge.
In a close game like this, though, I mean, even Joey hitting Smock, that could be game-changing enough, but at the same time, the Sego spot is still available. So Jackson's got two threats now, and Joey has now indicated, yeah, I've got an S, do something about it. And I think Jackson wants to play Bicep here. It's worth pointing out the pool is almost 50% vowels, unseen to Jackson. So playing Bicep here, you'll probably get some more vowels to kind of balance out that AL and Chat likes Primal more. I think that's a better version of Palmer.
Yeah.
Unseen E's at the same time, so maybe you do want to play off an E. If I'm Jackson, I'm knocking out Smock 10 times out of 10, but Bicep is a cute little play. It's fun to make cute little plays on the stream, especially when they score 34 and hold your some of your better tiles.
Yeah.
Big turn for Jackson, and I don't know exactly what's right. I'm playing a 6 through the M all day, but it looks like he wants to keep things a little bit tighter. He's just going to drop Lip, keep AENR, and we'll see if that backfires on him. I don't like keeping a bunch of one-pointers like that with a lot of vowels and with no bingo lines available, but again, Jackson is better at this game than I am.
I think I'm going to not compare my skill level to Jackson. I'll let the stream decide how they feel. I would say that Primal, etc., is a better play here. Ooh, that's really cool. That would be an incredible fish for Vishla. That would be.
That's a really fun idea.
That would be one of the coolest plays I've ever seen. You would also see like instant brain explosion from Jackson after that. Wow, that would be incredible. Alas, does not have it this turn, so I don't think we will see that. But if you see the right setup to do it, let us know in the chat. It would be nice to try to set up the Z here with a play making Sego, but I don't know that there's quite. Maybe if Dave's was good, but no, that wouldn't work either because Vades. There you go. Yeah, see, I mean, he really just wants to get points with the Z.
22.
Or no, Ted does not take a Y. I don't understand that play.
He's just trying to wait and cash the Z later on in the game with Seago and hope that that's going to be enough to catch up. Maybe he's hoping he can get a better spot.
Yeah, I mean he is definitely right in knowing that it's pretty safe to play off an E with a bunch left. But something like, I mean, even I don't know. I feel like he could have probably played off the Z that turn. It probably would have been pretty safe, but there's just a point where he runs out of time. It's an R, okay. Yeah, wow. Well, I think the chat is correct that Ted for 8 is probably the best play there. That's actually super cool because you go for drawing Zest, which happens a fair bit. Every now and then you draw Vishla. That's pretty sick.
355 324.
Huh.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He's just going to plunk Zaz right now immediately, so maybe he's trying to put a little time pressure on Jackson. It's almost a tie game after that play.
Yeah.
Joey's keeping LNOT into about 1,000 vowels. We'll see what he gets, but probably something kind of balanced.
Oh yeah, Joey works out.
Joey's drawn Peloton. He's not going to have a spot for it unless Jackson does something crazy here, which I don't see him doing. Jackson's just kind of building his own ladder right there, NE and then AY on top of it. Maybe that was the logic behind the play, but neither of those scores anything.
Yeah, maybe Jackson may have felt himself starting to slip into time pressure or something, because that also signals to Joey that he's dinking around with decent tiles, but where you should know you're not going to bingo on this board. So that may have led to Joey's decision to play Zaz so fast.
The blank is unseen to both of them too, so there's some paranoia. We're not going to see anything like plots down to the Z. We might see FOP from Joey, but I think they're both going to try and keep this closed, both kind of under the assumption that the other one has the blank.
Yeah, you have to still have 50-50 split of consonants and vowels and a blank to, keep it perfectly split. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth considering that Joey has in fact taken a tempo lead, if nothing else here. I should add that Joey's headphones are actually playing the stream right now, so he has a slight advantage.
Jackson holding 3 R's. Just kidding. I and row 13 be too basic. I don't really think so. I mean, no. Maybe he can come down underneath with an E though.
Yeah, and we're all about basic.
No options. You have to consider which options you're giving back.
Yeah. I mean, I think at this point, honestly, Jackson has to be considering his own future in this game, where. I mean, he knows he's now at a disadvantage. His win percentage is below. I think he can intuit that his win percentage is below 50% at this point. So he really needs to start thinking about what is he going to do.
Yep.
Joey just plunks an O here.
What?
Would have played FOP. Just taken 16.
FOP.
No,
FOP.
I would have definitely taken the points there.
FOP seems pretty clearly like the better play. I'm not really sure.
It looks like Quackle is set to the wrong unseen pool. This is what Joey sees unseen. And okay, here's what Jackson sees unseen. So if I'm Jackson, I'm kind of terrified by what's in there.
Yeah. So I think this is probably, yeah, I mean, he's going to sacrifice the points, but there's a point where you can't sacrifice the points anymore.
And I think we're about at that point too. The blank's not actually that big in terms of end game flexibility and having a lot of options. I just don't see anything you can do with it on this board.
Yeah, it's more just your opponent not having it.
We're just seeing some really fast plays. Jackson plays FIE and Joey just drops NU immediately. These are some
Yeah,
I don't know. I would spend a lot more time on each of these turns, but they're just kind of going and making plays.
yeah, I have. I'll be totally honest. I have no idea what's going on right now. But maybe they know something we don't. Because neither of them are even close enough to on time to really speed rush the opponent.
At the same time, like this is kind of what makes Jackson famous, or makes Joey famous rather, is just going fast and making you feel like you have to go fast, even though you don't.
Yeah.
I can see Jackson playing air, like making a mid and rope here.
What about just AR? I mean, he's. I mean, I obviously that will end horribly, but like, unseen to him. Oh, I'm sorry. There's only one in the bag. I take back everything I said in life.
One in the bag, and
yeah.
Joey's just drawn the blank.
Yeah.
Things are looking grim for Jackson now.
I think we know that Joey's in fact not hungover. He's just playing fast.
If Jackson does play AIR, he's actually not going to give Joey any bingos ending in A, at least not that I see.
Yeah. But it would, yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, Jackson has he's got the time to go through the racks, I think, or at least reasonably well.
Oh, yeah, even air gives plethora. Thanks, chat. Oh, it seems like if Jackson makes any of the plays up at the top, he's going to lose this game. And there's really no other plays to make that I see.
Yeah, there's nothing he can really draw for at this point. Like, I guess at this point, I think he would have to just try to outrun him, which I don't know if that's going to be possible either. But
actually, if Jackson plays EAR at the top, Joey doesn't bingo with his rack. But then Jackson has, some terrible stuff in IRR, and I don't think he outruns in that end game very often.
I doubt it. That is when I think the blank provides enough flexibility once the top line is opened. It's probably the take home.
Jackson sees an extra E in the bag, and so that's complicating things a bit for him. We know what Joey has and what bingos he's going to have available, but Jackson doesn't. So I think he's just trying to figure out which play he can drop there that lets Joey bingo the smallest percentage of the time. And I really just don't think there's anything to do but to play up there.
Yeah, I mean, what about just playing rope for 6, which I was going to mention, but I think that's what Jackson's looking at. It puts him up 10.
How often is he going to win a 0 in the bag end game, though? Yeah, he doesn't know what he's going to draw. Can Joey find an out in 2? Joey's almost guaranteed to go out in 2. He's got plots available to the Z. But I think Jackson's got to try.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, plots really complicates things for Jackson.
So Jackson's up 11. Plots is going to come down for, 20 points. That put Joey up 9. And then Joey's going to have ER blank to go out with.
Yeah.
Is there anything good you can do with ER blank?
Well, I mean, plots will open things up, so he'll certainly be able to go out 2. And I don't think Jackson's going to be able to score enough to hold that off. If Jackson passed, I think Joey would just play off a couple tiles and win, or play plots and win.
Hard for me to visualize plays that aren't there, but yeah, if Joey plays plots, I don't see any good overlaps that Jackson can have back. Down comes plots indeed.
Has Joey? I don't know if Joey's hit his clock yet, though. I think he's still thinking.
He's looking at it now. Yeah.
And I think that's Enough points?
I think the best Jackson could do, he's only got 4 spaces between the L's, so he can only score 18 there. And I don't even know if he's got a 5 through it.
I don't see much. Was Ryler a word? I thought it wasn't a word.
Don't like it.
Ryler's not a word. Come on, Muffin.
I mean, Jackson's already gotten away with 1 phony this game.
Yeah, I know. Matt's right. You should, like, cut the spread, give yourself a chance for Joey to do something crazy.
Jackson would have Airy 14 AERIE, but that's not going to be enough to do it. Joey just has to go out and win.
Yeah.
I think Plots is just a winning play.
Yeah, Airier, hope he doesn't see LE.
Right. Crazier things have happened in New Orleans before.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's a New Orleans rule. The next tiebreaker after spread is a number of phonies played.
Oh, I think it's a great idea.
I think we should add it to the rule book.
Yeah. If there is annoying background noise on log, it's probably me because I'm sitting in the lobby of the tournament room. If it gets too horrible, I can move to a more secluded place in the future. I apologize. I'm not staying
Joey's
at the
hit his
hotel.
clock now. Plots has come down, and I think Jackson is just dead here.
Yeah, I do like Ryler though. Introduce a bit of variance into the game.
Absolutely unchallengeable phony.
Yeah.
Save yourself like 4 spread points.
Yeah, and then he gets the bragging rights of having phony Joey twice. If we're thinking metagame here. Which, given that Joey's winning, you could argue has become more of a thing. Because Joey is in fact still in it.
We've got a second TWL game after this, and then the last 2 games will switch back over to the Collins division. Secretly, I was kind of hoping we'd see Jackson go ahead and Gibsonize himself after this or after the next one, so that TWL was all set. But that might not be the case. We'll have to see what happened with Sid Morales' game. If Sid loses and Jackson wins the next one, I think he's still got the tournament.
Yeah.
Never say die. You know, maybe Jackson pulls this game out somehow because Joey drops dead at the table. It is a possibility. I think that's why he's using the remaining time. Every second he takes is another second Joey could have a stroke.
Joey could get thrown out of the tournament for using headphones. He might be waiting.
Yes, I think that's actually Jackson's highest simming move right now is to report Joey to the director.
Exactly. I believe it. Well, he's running out of time to report him.
I don't think that option has crossed his mind yet. I think he would have gone ahead and stopped the clock and done it.
Yeah. I think he's debating if he should go put on more hair gel before the game ends or after it ends. That's just my own... That's what I think he's thinking about. Jack, I don't know if there's been a mid-game death, but I've fallen asleep during games before. So, you know... Is he thinking Arian LE? Or is he thinking Re-Rain? Or is he thinking Ryler? We're going to get Ryler after all.
We're going to get Ryler.
He really wants to rile Joey up.
Fun. Going to net himself 4 spread points with this play, assuming Joey doesn't challenge, and I don't think Joey will ever challenge. I wonder what was just said over the board. It looked like it started with an F, but I'm not sure.
I think it may have.
410.
After the clock hits 0, you lose 10 points per minute. So how many rules has Joey broken this game? I think he's still safe here to win the Scrabble, but he does still have to make a valid play. Ooh, make the blank a B, I hope. If the blank is anything else, instantly, no, then he loses. Blank has to be a B here. Anything else loses.
So 6 points? Yeah, I drew the blank after that.
Yeah,
It is
Kate,
important to
Kate,
figure
tell
out-
us,
yeah,
tell us,
Kate,
tell us who won the game. It was a B. Good,
for
good,
beer.
good, good.
Oh, that is a New
That was,
Orleans
yeah,
play.
yeah, that was close.
I know.
If he hadn't played beer, I'm pretty sure he would lose the game.
He probably wouldn't fall.
Ends up being 6 points.
Yeah. So that's good.
After Ryler Jackson saving the 4 spread points. Yeah, I don't know. I think either player could have won this game. I think there were a lot of hard turns for sure on a tight board like this. A lot of questionable turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Played it so fast.
I'm not sure if time was really used as effectively as it could have been.
You knew it was phony. I'm not
No, I
falling for that.
Jackson apparently thought tinings was a real word. We've just learned.
Anytime I play a deliberate phony, I always act like I thought it was a real word.
Yeah, but I've looked at enough of Jackson's annotated games where I completely believe that he thought tinings was a real word. He wouldn't, he would play the valid bingo there.
Huh? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I think that game was Jackson's to lose, and I think he lost it. But Joey did still have to pick up the blank, I think.
Is hooky good?
I think going back and looking at Primal versus Palmer versus Lip is a thing Jackson's going to maybe kick himself for.
Yeah.
I think that placement of VAT is another thing he'll be thinking long and hard about.
Yeah.
Or as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he must have known the A
So
hook,
NASPA
right?
allows it because it just cancels out the noise.
I don't know. Maybe we could have someone ask him.
Yeah. I like that Joey's very speaking intently into the camera without any sound.
I think he's talking to Kate. Maybe she's asking him a question or two.
Yeah.
Signings.
A very tough game for both players. You know, it's easy to criticize when you're sitting here on a stream with your phone in front of you to look up racks and stuff. But I don't know. Several of those turns where it's like nobody knows what the true right answer was. Maybe David Gibson would have known. This is his bread and butter right here. But
Kate has an update.
Maybe I don't. I mean, maybe I just go all in on
Yeah, dude.
There was some conversation about tinings after the game, and Joey just said Jackson played it so quickly he didn't know if he should challenge. Just let it go.
And there you go.
I didn't think so.
Oh yeah.
That's your real-time little post-game update.
Well, at least
Yeah,
you only lost
I mean,
which matters because
I would say, honestly, I think overall Joey probably played a better game, and I think that's why he won.
I'm still way behind on spread.
Yeah. I'm going to jump off for a sec and move to a hotel room so that there's not as much annoying background noise next game. So I will be back momentarily, but thanks for sticking around for this first game, and we'll be back with another Owl game pretty soon.